What is a Gen Xer going to do with an AI image creator like Google Gemini? Well, it wasn't too long ago when I decided I would play around and see what it can do. I have an imaginative mind, if you already know me, but I also found it fascinating. I'm trying to understand where these new technologies are taking us. And so in order to understand it, I got to test it out. And so I started to use it for creating different images. Now, of course, most people think about creating images that don't exist already, which I started with. But I tend to like load some pictures into it first, some of which I've drawn, some photographs that I've taken, some photographs that I found, and I just want to breeze through some of these things because the application of it was quite fascinating. And the fact that I thought about using it and then was delighted with the result, I think is why I'm sharing it. Since I'm not on social media, I said, you know what? Let me just show what I've done. I envision myself as a show host, right? And I also envisioned myself as a Yeti. And I thought it was very interesting how the tattoos were maintained. So then the next one is, so this was a time when I was recovering from back surgery and I'm laying around. I mean, you're laying around a lot. You get up every hour or whatever, but you lay around a lot to heal. And I had an iPad. I was learning to draw. It was a very rough taking a photo. And let me draw this monkey on my shoulder. Well, I said, you know what? That'd be fun to see what AI would come up with. Boom. I said, turn this drawing into a real looking monkey. Saw myself as a game show host again, took another photo of the both of us in a different context, put it in the context. And I think it's really, really funny, really cheeky. Now I try to draw, like learning to draw people is hard. And so I try to draw people who I know if I mess them up, they're not going to be mad. They're going to appreciate the effort. So this is when I started going into, what about if I drew something entirely no photo and just flipped it into something real? So this is the man that was generated from the person that I drew that didn't look like the man. Isn't that crazy? I was illustrating a children's book. It's still in the development work. And this is the fly. There's Fly is the main character. And then I said, you know what? Let me see what fly AI would draw. So I uploaded that. And this is the fly that I got. Very nice fly, indeed. I kind of like my little rough and tumble fly, though. A friend of mine sending old pictures. I guess, going through the phone, sending some old pictures. And recently I had gone to the Albuquerque Hot Air Balloon Festival. And so I said, let me see if I could put us in a basket in this festival, which I didn't go to. And here we are. Now, mind you, that is the old me without the hair. So it's quite an old picture. But I was blown away with that because we are in the basket. The other thing about this is on my left arm was not in the photo. See? Or the right arm. Only one arm was. They recreated a whole new tattoo to match the other arm. And I thought that was fascinating and like looking deeply at that. Another photo, old photo. I was like, let's put us in tuxedos and we're all tall and thin. Now, that doesn't really look like me, but it still was a really interesting effort. I had this picture for years. I was so mad. I was in Australia solo dolo on the way somewhere else. And so, I'm taking these pictures kind of on the slide. I don't like it looking like I'm taking pictures. So it's kind of set the camera up and kind of take the picture. And didn't know there was a couple people in the background at all. And so I was like, I could try to take them out, but it just seemed like it's a lot of time and effort. You got to match the resolution. It's crazy. Boom. Gone. I couldn't believe that. It's just me there. Also, I like to play around with the cartoon aspect of me. This is the original photo. I have that in reverse. That's the original photo I drew for a thumbnail for a poem, and I took it, and that's what it drew from that photo, which I think is really interesting. And then again, another cartoon photo of me. I think I should have been a cartoon character. I don't know. Anyways, that's why there's so many cartoon characters. Then I said about me meditating in a crowded subway, then me dressed as a monk meditating in a crowded subway, then me dressed as a monk meditating on a mountaintop. This is a photo I took of the full moon, and then I brought myself in from another photo, and I asked them to do I say AI, to put me holding the moon. But I really meant to grab the moon up there, but I wasn't specific enough. And that's me as a sanitation worker. That's me as a clown in the circus. And of course, one of my favorites is me as King Kong. Who knows? And this is me. No, hey, I was having fun with it. Some of this stuff I did a few weeks ago. It wasn't like all at once. But this is me as 4 different superheroes. This is me as a magician. Then these are my favorite 3. Like, I got a postcard from my nieces from Hawaii, and there was like a red seahorse. So I put myself on a red seahorse. I thought it was well done. The next one really blew my mind. So I was really kind of geeking out on Scavenger's Reign. If you saw that animated series, I loved it. I actually saw it twice all the way through. I never do that. Anyone knows I don't watch anything twice. There's so much to watch. So I gave them this image and asked them to turn it into real people. Now, mind you, that was me. I drew myself. I was drawing myself into my favorite animated series. And I think like I did Midnight Gospel. I did like Blue Eye Samurai. And the style is if I was a character. Thought it was pretty good. Think fingers are a little chunky. But then turn it into a real person. And that is what it did. And I was blown away. It almost was like when Scooby-Doo, the Scooby-Doo cartoon came to life. Now, the last one is the one that I was just absolutely, utterly amazed. And that's the one that I actually did towards the beginning. It was photo restoration. And I had found one photo. I'd never, until last year, I had never seen one photograph of my paternal grandmother. And I finally found the one on the left. And, yeah, it restored that, and I was blown away by it. To never had seen her face, and all of a sudden, here we are, and there is my kind of walkthrough of my experience using the Google Gemini AI in different ways. That was both entertaining, fascinating, and really, I was astounded by the restoration. So you may have an old picture, old photo still that you can't really see. That could be something you could give it a try. Take a picture of it, give it a try. But that's what I wanted to share today. So peace.